Hey there, YouTube fam. How you be? Let's see what kind of vibe check you're looking for right about now. What are the words of advice that you really need to hear in this moment? You know, this channel's all about sharing the positive vibes, so let's see what kind of verbal hugs we can offer. The equivalent of a hug, fam. The equivalent at the very least. Not everyone's a hugger, and that's okay. I'm seeing the Four of Swords. It's like, yeah, please. Yeah, totally. Alrighty, so let's get into it. Alright, I want to do a good old shuffle or two. Definitely feeling a bit better. It was so heavy for a bit there, and it got really sad and depressing at times. There was a lot of stuff has been happening, good, bad, and the ugly. But it feels like we're kind of coming up for at least a little bit of air, a little bit of moment. Then again, it is Cancer season, so that water. All right, cut the deck. Fine, I shall cut the deck. Do it in threes, pull in the middle to the top. What's that first card, fam? Boosh. Wheel of Fortune. What did I say? That card tends to show up. It's a lot like the Sun card, where things have been difficult and dark for some. Maybe you've been working a lot and you're burnt out, you know. It kind of feels like a bit of all of the above, right? Things have been stressful and confusing, but I like to say, may the odds be ever in your favor, fam. It's about that time. So if you've been waiting for that other shoe to drop to where you can just, it's coming, fam. It's coming if it's not already here. What's next? Chapter 2 in this story, but you're stressing. This is someone who's just like, I always think of it like this loop going around and around, stressing, anxiety, worrying about things. This person's wearing white, worrying about things you don't even need to be worrying about. That's why I always think about like loops. If it's something that you did, no one else involved is thinking about it in the same way that you are. It feels like someone is being really harsh with themselves and taking on the responsibility of blame when they're not in the wrong. You know, but maybe it's like, well, I've made choices that have led me to here, so then either way, and like, okay, but you know, like, fine, but why you don't need to do that with everything, right? Because there's something that you're actually innocent on. Like when we see these black backgrounds, that's dark night of the soul, just like what I was saying, that someone's been dealing with. Okay, got it, you're not letting go. At the very least, to be fair, you're still trying to figure out how. It's reminded me of when, for some of us, when you learn, especially AFABs, Chiquimamas, learning later on in life, their 30s, their 40s, the earliest, that they're autistic because their son just got diagnosed, right? And it's like, how do you take off a mask that you didn't even realize you were wearing? It's that type of energy, like you're not even realizing what you're doing or that it's detrimental to you, and it's very uncalled for. Moving on to chapter 3. That's 2 9s, fam. But I feel like this is that burnout. Oh my goodness, remember I said that it feels like a bit of both. It feels like both the 10 and the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. We got the 9s. After the 9 of Swords is the 9 of Wands. This person even has a white bandage on their head. The swords are the mind, fam. So, okay. Bringing the wands into it is that creativity, that passion, that strength and courage. And with this card, it tends to represent chill. This isn't a time to fight anymore. The worst parts are over. This is time to heal. You are protected. This person's looking behind them, but there's all those wands between them and whatever the heck it was, right? You're protected. No backsies. So instead of looking over your shoulder and worrying about salt, heal. What does nurturing mean for you? Not what are the things you like doing for others. What would it feel like for you? I feel like that's been something that a lot of us have been trying to figure out. We're so used to taking care of others. And now we're trying to figure out what it feels like and what really, truly nurtures us and sustains us and fulfills us, right? What's coming up after those 2 9s? A 10 and 2 9s. Fam, ending of a cycle. But, you know, it's not like you're a wee babe anymore, right? But it is a bit like you're reborn. Like a literal resurrection in your life. Coming back to life. Maybe something's making you feel young again, right? Or whatever the equivalent of this religious symbology is for you if you're not Christian and the like. I don't consider myself. My opinions on certain things have just simply shifted. You know what I mean? I have a feeling you do. But it's like, I mean, like, wake up. You know what I mean? But it's that realization of, oh. There's my eureka moment. I got there eventually. So it's the transition from that looping and that self-torture, just being unable to get off that OCD ride, right? To, okay, this isn't the time to give up. This isn't the time to think of that negative crap anymore. This is the time to heal. I have the space, I have the time, and it's going to take as long as it needs to. But I just don't think you have anything to worry about. So if there are things that you're stressing about, I want you to really take a step back and go, what are the other solutions? What is it, my dear caregiver, that you would say to your loved one? Your bestie, the person you would give the best of advice to. And please take your own advice for once, okay? You have smack dab between the Wheel of Fortune and Judgment. These 2 very particular 9s, okay? So I feel that you are healing. You're trying and you're figuring out what that means. So we got the 4. What 4 are going to come up underneath them and how are they going to pair together? Underneath the Wheel of Fortune, we have the 5 of Cups. This past week, at the time of filming and uploading, was really freaking difficult. Almost exactly a week ago, within the span of just a few hours, I personally learned of 2 people, 2 lives, lights that the world is missing now. Completely unrelated, but goodness gracious, when you're not used to constant, that type of loss, like out of nowhere, like it's impactful anyway because every life matters, but like it's like I got the wind knocked out of me for a minute and it was really difficult, and something tells me you know exactly what I'm talking about. May they rest in peace and finally be free of this mortal bullshit, fam, right? It's more difficult for those of us still living, right? But lately, my favorite thing about the 5 of Cups, the 5, I was thinking of the 3 spilt cups or knocked over cups, is I feel like whoever this collective is, this community is, like you're very aware of the cups behind you. You just need a minute. And coming up underneath the Wheel of Fortune, I feel like fate, your guides, your angels, whatever equivalent, your ancestors are kind of like So not that it matters really, but time's going by, and have you lost track again? You know, a little bit of time blindness, and then we just whoop right on into the future. We lost that. Those days are gone. That time's gone. Someone's losing track of time, and they're trying to wake you up. All right? Maybe a lot of things have been coming up that are helping you to work through things so that they don't affect you the same when what may trigger you comes up. It feels like there's been a lot of that kind of work going around. Underneath the Nine of Swords is the 5. That's 2 5s in a row. And what does 5 and 5? Yeah, you know. Still seeing 10. Coming up underneath the 9 of Swords, though. Like, my favorite thing about the 5 of Cups, or Pentacles, sorry, the 5 of Pentacles this round, or this time, is they're in motion. At least they're moving forward, right? They're not just sitting down underneath what may be a stained glass window. Like, I like to think that there's a door over here, and they're like, just go, you know? But that connected, like, someone, either you have felt very left out in the cold and wondering what the heck, where did it all go wrong? Or you're really stressing about money. And you've been, or at least in the past, because that was followed by the 9 of Wands, so we're not forgetting that. Or at least in the past, that was a big concern of yours. And maybe that's why I'm thinking of how I love that. At least they're moving. Even without shoes, even with crutches and bandages, we're still moving forward, right? No more backsies, only forward, right? Underneath that 9 of Wands is the 8 of Wands. So this speaks of, it could be communication coming in, a phone call, someone sliding into your the DMs, you know what I mean? Dang, words, shit. But it can also mean, like, part of, maybe somebody's going to call and be like, hey, so we were going to be doing this trip and then someone backed out, but it's already paid for. Like, do you want to come? Something spontaneous, something that's going to catch you by surprise. Whether you realize it or not, things are in motion. They're in motion. Hey, so remember I said they know that that's back there. And then look, 2, it's almost like representing those 2 cups. Okay, let's keep moving. This is difficult. It's freaking cold. We've got snow everywhere, but snow is what? Has a tendency to be white, right? Maybe you made choices in the past that, like, you just didn't know any better. Stop holding yourself accountable for things that you did, choices you made when you just simply didn't know any better, because you have learned so much since then. It's just simply not the same, okay? So the question is, are you open to this? Are you open to this rebirth? Are you open to the odds being ever in your favor? Are you open to the spontaneous side of things and being able to relax and enjoy yourself and having incredible conversations that really help, right? Underneath the Judgment card is the 6 of Pentacles. Fam, oh, I love that for you. We go from, I'm going to put it in front of each. So we started off with the 5, we started off with the 5 of Cups, and then we get to the lack thereof of the 5 of Pentacles, but then no, we're moving forward, movement, constantly moving forward. Boosh. Now we have the 6 of Pentacles, which is equality, right? You're no longer lacking. You're able to help others. You have enough to share. And for you, there's no difference between the two, you know, whether you're the one holding the scales to remind people of that balance, right? Whether you're the one with the coinage or you're the one needing it, like, you're just as comfortable either way. Money is just a resource. It's personally one of my favorite resources. It enables me, the lifestyle I choose. You know what I mean? Who does affirmations? I mean, you know, me. So, no, really, there's a channel and everything. So this is that reminder that this time we're going on with the mentality of to give is to receive. We're not playing in give or take territory anymore. We did not have fun there. That way it was not fun. It was not fun. These two freaking cards that paired together both have black ass backgrounds. For that dark night of the soul, fam. But this is rebirth. You have rebirth coming in. No matter what you're doing, be comfortable. Be comfortable in your skin. And know there's been a lot of, now that you've been through it, you know what it's like. You can speak on that. Now you have walked it. Therefore, you have every right to talk about it. You know what I mean? And share that wisdom. At the caboose is the King of Swords, that logic. I like to say that the King and Queen of Swords are really good at friendly debates. They're not so easily persuaded to change their minds. They seek truth amongst that knowledge, you know, that's seen through the illusions of this world, beyond marketing and PR firms, beyond the freaking cheesy ass Hollywood bullshit. Embracing that truth and handling your business, being able to still do your thing, even though you can hear people, you know, there's always going to be someone. Why? Because balance at the very least, right? There's always going to be someone. Doesn't matter anymore because you know who you are. You know what you're capable of. You've been there and you've done that. Right? That's all a part of that healing process is, oh, but I do know better now. I do know what I'm doing and I'm ready for these adventures. I'm ready for whatever the heck me and my choices, my consequences have coming for me, because boosh, all of that crap in the past had its turn and now it's so much better, right? At the bottom of the deck, I want you to remember firmly, whenever things like this come up, it starts with us first, okay? But, you know, I'm just saying, the Lover's card has come up, which is also Gemini, which is also what? The mind, air. Everything's pretty well balanced. Have you noticed that? We have the Pentacles for that earth, the wands for that fire, the cups for that water, the swords for that air. There's balance happening in this reading. As well as three very, very, very particular major arcana. The Wheel of Fortune, Judgment, and the Lovers. The Lovers doesn't only have this angel and this blazing sun and these, you know, naked people. It also has the Tree of Life and the Tree of Knowledge represented. Woo! Wow, those just came flying out. Let's see what they are. I have the Moonology deck now, fam. I've been wanting this deck for a while. I smudged them with some herbs before, and then I put them back in their box, and it's like, whoa! Okay, so we have that flew out, the gibbous moon. You are very close to achieving your goal. These cards are so pretty. And then the supermoon, baby. Emotions are running high. What did I say? It's Cancer season. You better get freaking comfortable with it. Better get comfortable, because next up is Leo. I love these cards. Emotions are running high. And then also, so why was I thinking of the supermoon with Leo? We have new moon in Leo. Confidence is key to your success, fam. On the bottom, new moon in Gemini. Communication is key. Yeah. I feel like that's a connection between the Lovers and the King of Swords. Not just truth, but that ability to communicate. Oh, that's what I was saying. The ability to communicate with others and interact with others without being so easily affected by others. Fam, we got there. Shit. Oh, seriously, these cards are so pretty. If you've been thinking about getting them, just get them. They're less than 20, so if you can, why wouldn't you? They're so pretty, and they're thick. Anyway, moving on. Fam, you've got this. You've been putting in the work. There's been so much work and so much transformation. You just can, like, continue the process. But the word, I wanted to say continue, but also consider. What is it that we need to have under consideration? So you may have noticed I don't really have reversals. I picked up this deck. There's one card that's upside down inside the deck, fam, that I went right to. You don't have to believe anything I'm saying. You don't have to agree with anything I'm saying, but I'm telling you the truth as I freaking know it. It's reversed, fam. Painful cycle over, okay? So you just keep healing. You just keep doing your thing because it's beautiful, all right? Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, fam. 2 10s, 2 9s, and the 8 of Wands. Judgment, the Lovers, King of Swords, 6 of Pentacles. It's been painful. It's been difficult. It's getting better and better and better. So add that in to make sure that's a part of your affirmation squad, okay? My life keeps getting better and better and better and better and better because damn right it is. It's yours. Hey. Thank you so much for joining me. Always remember that I believe in you, fam. Okay? You.